It's me, it's Queen Osetharu, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who might be interested. If you would like to get a reading, please email me. If you have a question for Ask an Aquarius, please email me or drop it underneath this video, or you can send it to me on social media. Likewise, if you would like to become one of my patrons, I have a Patreon page. I will leave the link underneath this video so you guys can check it out if you're interested. Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to talk about one more thing today. Today, we're going to talk about anxiety. Someone asked me to talk about anxiety and how to treat it. So first and foremost, let's get a definition of anxiety and know exactly what it is. Anxiety in itself isn't bad. Anxiety is actually our body's response to stress. So it's a feeling of fear or nervousness or apprehension about what's to come. The first day of school, going on a job interview, or giving a speech could make some people feel fearful, nervous, anxious. So this is not something that is in itself a problem. It's normal to feel anxiety before one of these events occurs, such as performing on a stage. But the problem is that when it becomes constant, when you find yourself anxious all the time or every day, okay? I remember, and some people feel this anxiety in different ways in their body. Some of us could feel it in our stomach as tension in the stomach. Some of us feel it as sweating. It comes out of our bodies in a number of different ways. And like I said before, it becomes problematic if it's all the time, because not only does it do that, it also raises your heart rate. So if you're a person who's anxious, you could really run yourself into bad health. I've seen people with anxiety have ulcers. I've seen people with anxiety have heart problems that weren't there before. Likewise, problems with their blood pressure. So if you're somebody who has anxiety on a daily basis, it could start to mess with your health. So how do you know about anxiety? How do you know what to do about it? Well, first things first, whenever you think something's going on with you, the first thing you need to do is talk to a professional. I don't care who it is. You need to find somebody, a doctor or a therapist or some kind of a counselor who can diagnose. Usually you want to go to a doctor for a diagnosis. So a medical doctor can give a diagnosis, but also like a psychiatrist or someone like that as well. A therapist could tell you if that's what it is or not too. So once you are sure it's anxiety, because mind you, it could be other things. If anxiety goes unchecked long enough, it can start to be panic attacks. So you need to know exactly what you're dealing with. What is the name of it? So after you have a professional give you a name, then they will more than likely tell you to do something like diet, exercise, and maybe even medication. When I worked for the school district, I had anxiety every freaking day. Every day I woke up, there was tension in my stomach. I didn't want to go to work. I was already apprehensive and nervous and, shaken about what was getting ready to happen. What are we getting ready to go through? Also, if you have anxiety too long, like in my case, it can start to become, or it will become in a lot of cases, post-traumatic stress disorder. So that's when you've had the anxiety and you're past it, but you still feel it in your body. You're still anxious. You're still fearful. So different things that would happen or have happened in my life gave me PTSD. So the anxiety is in the present tense. The PTSD is from anxiety from the past. So you're dealing with more than one thing at this point. So you really have to, like I said, get a diagnosis to know what is going on with you. And I felt like this every day. I would get up every day and be apprehensive and nervous and didn't want to go. And, then that led to depression. A lot of times anxiety leads to depression, or sometimes they come together. Sometimes depression comes first and then the anxiety, but a lot of times they do come together. So it was just a really difficult time. So like I said, you have to get it diagnosed. Somebody has to say, okay, this is what it is. Then once you know that's what it is or what it is, then you can treat it. Like I said, most doctors recommend diet and exercise because exercise helps you get out some of that nervous energy, a lot of that nervous energy, and it can also help you be tired and help you sleep good. And then your diet is important because certain foods make anxiety worse. For example, sugar, caffeine, those things make it worse. So a lot of doctors will tell you to look at your diet to see if you're consuming things that are increasing or aggravating your anxiety, even triggering your anxiety. And lastly, they will often recommend anti-anxiety medicine. Do you have to take it? No. You can just get the diagnosis and you can, search for treatments on your own. The diet and the exercise would be smart to start off with. A lot of people don't want to take meds. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I taught special education. And when I taught special education, I had kids, some of them had what they call emotional support needs. So some of them had depression, some of them had anxiety, some of them needed medicine. And some people are totally against medicine, and some people are totally for medicine. And I've seen both. I've seen kids and I've seen adults who needed medicine. Okay? They needed it. I've seen children destroy an entire classroom with their bare hands because they were dealing with whatever kind of anxiety, whatever kind of stress, whatever kind of disorder they had, and they snapped out, you know? And I've seen kids who needed their meds. I've seen adults who can't function without their meds. And I've also seen people use holistic treatments. So you can decide what treatment to go with. The thing is getting the diagnosis. I always send people directly to a professional when you think something is wrong with you. I don't recommend trying to doctor on yourself without a proper diagnosis. You need to know what you're dealing with. If you want to then go and look at different treatments and research different treatments and try holistic things such as lavender. Some people use like lavender, to help them with their anxiety. Some people use meditation to help them with their anxiety. That's very helpful. There are lots of different things you can use, but you have to let a professional tell you what is wrong with you in the first place. If anything, you have to get that out first. You got to find out what it is. Is it anxiety or is it PTSD? Or is it panic attacks? Or is it a medical condition that looks like one of these things? See, without talking to a professional, you don't know. You're just guessing what's going on with you. And I don't recommend guessing on your life. So after you've got the diagnosis, then the doctor will tell you, oh, I recommend this treatment. And then you can go research other treatments and decide which one you actually want to do. So if you don't want to take medicine, for example, you can decide to do an hour or two of meditation a day. You can decide to change your diet and exercise 3 or 4 times a week. You got a lot of options at that point. But until you know exactly what you're dealing with, you're shooting in the dark. You're guessing. And I don't recommend guessing with your life. So after you find out exactly what's going on, then research treatments. And then you can try them. And some of them may work and some of them may not. You may try meditation and it may be helpful, but you need a little something more. You may need anti-anxiety medication. You may not need anti-anxiety medication. But you're not going to be able to get to that step until you first find out what's going on with you. And then the second step is research. You have to research. You have to go online. You have to look at different, they have all kinds of like WebMD and all kind of stuff online. They also have herbs. They have oils. There is all kinds of stuff. You may find that there may be an herb in a pill form or a capsule form that you can take. But first and foremost, you have to look. Now, lavender, meditation, exercise, stopping sugar and caffeine are the ones I know of. And the ones I tried when I was doing my own treatment. I didn't get medicated. I've never been medicated for any of these things. I used spiritual methods, like I just said. But I first found out what was going on and then tried the spiritual methods. Um, Another thing I would use all the time is black crystals. Black obsidian is my favorite one that helped to ground me, you know? So there are a lot of things that you can do. And like I said, all those treatments are the ones I use for myself. I don't have anxiety anymore. And I do drink coffee sometimes. And sometimes I eat sugar. So I was able to heal that. I was able to change that. But look how long it took me. And look, I didn't just, say, oh, I think I have this. I actually did the work. I went to a professional. I did the research. I tried different things. I was consistent with it, and that's what you have to do for yourself. Okay? So, for any of you who are experiencing this, the first step is finding out exactly what's going on. And just know that you can heal this. You can heal anything, mind, body, spirit. You can heal it. It's just a matter of finding the right treatment for your body. Okay? All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time if you want to chit chat about communication. See you later.